not bound.
She just told you. She said don't throw it down.
All right, so the first thing in the format of this kind of a position essay or an argumentative essay or a persuasive, guys, shh. First thing in a persuasive essay, position essay, or an argumentative essay, they all fall under the same format. You're trying to persuade someone to either do something, take on your belief, your point of view. In this article, or in this essay, you have to take a position. You have to take a position. There are two choices. This is my position side over here. All right, so introduction needs to start out. I have a hook. If you look at my sample one, what it does is it talks about some of the books I read as a child, some of the memories, some of the feelings I had reading children's books, and so forth. At the end of it, I bolded it. You may want to do that with yours, just so that you know you have the thesis statement in there, your position statement. Okay, you can see mine bolded, so don't go over this one yet. And what it does is it tells the reader exactly what your position is. It should not be a mystery what position you're taking on the issue. You want to give that away right away in your introduction, usually at the end of your introduction. Okay, so in that introduction, you need to set it up and also explain a couple of the reasons why your position is what it is. All right, so paragraph 1, which is right here where we are. Paragraph 1 is then going to give the first reason for your position. I mentioned about a story that I just read to my kids. So the position I took, sorry, I didn't even mention that. The position I'm taking is that literature needs to be more optimistic, as how the world should be for children as well as young adults. Okay? So paragraph 1 gives my first example of how that can be done. I reference a book, and you may want to do this for your paragraph, talk about a specific book. I reference a book called Beakley, and in which the kids develop and find imaginary friends. And it's a very happy book, and it talks about how they can be creative and you can find your imaginary friend. Talked about reasons like if you, let's see what I actually have on here. Kids can be creative, enjoy, and notice things. It's positive experiences through books when the world is a little bit more optimistic. So clear over that one. All right, so that's my first paragraph. My second paragraph, features. I remember reading a book by Curious George about Curious George, I think, goes to the hospital, in which it goes through and talks about, I gave a couple quick lines of plot that would make sense so the reader kind of fill the reader in. Not a lot. If you read my second paragraph, or third paragraph actually, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But in this one, it talks about some major issues. Some children's books feature very big issues. They feature important things like death, divorce, hospital visits, sickness, all kinds of things. They might talk about poverty, they might talk about environmental issues, and the goal should be of these books to be somewhat positive. If we have very brave and negative and realistic things in children's books, we don't want to have everyone dying in the book. Okay, that would be scary. Some kids are not cognitively ready for those kind of things to be talked about. All right, so that's paragraph 2, or paragraph 3 actually. All right, so you can go over paragraph 2 now. That's my second one. My fourth one, or third one because of the introduction. Number 4, okay? All right. Number 4, and these are all my point of view. This is still my point of view. So introduction, first paragraph gives examples, second paragraph gives examples. This is my third body paragraph. Okay, you can have 2 or 3. Another concern I would have if stuff is too negative in books for kids or young adults, it may stop them from reading. If you have if the story ends sad at the end or the movie's sad, sometimes it doesn't motivate you to get back into a book right away. Okay, so I said it might prevent people from continuing to read, which could be a dangerous thing. All right, so that is my 4th one.
Kill it.
So I have to go back over my 4th one. All right, there you go. All right, my 5th paragraph over here. And my goal is for you to understand that this is in red. It's over here on the opposite side. After you've given your body paragraphs, you have to show the counter argument. Okay, over here. This one is probably around your 5th paragraph, might be your 4th paragraph, might be your 6th paragraph. After you've given your point of view, This one shows. And when I said for the opposite point of view, if we give stories that are super positive, what's going to happen when all of a sudden a kid does go through a story and they find out, well, that's not how my life is. That didn't work out like the book. Maybe literature's lying to me. Maybe the world's lying to me, and be worried about that. What I said to counter that, so you have the opposite point of view, and you'll see this in my 5th paragraph, how I did this. After the opposite point of view, you have to counter. So you have to say, yes, I realize someone might disagree with me, but you have to say, this is why it's still okay that my point of view is correct. Okay? So what I said for my counter argument is, yes, somebody might say, well, kids will think that literature's lying to them and the world's not really like that, but we still have to provide a hopeful atmosphere. We still have to provide hope for them, okay, and make the world seem so that they have some kind of hope, okay? So if we provide a very real, dark world for them, that's not good either, okay? Lastly, my conclusion is going to further support my point of view. So it's over here on my side. And it said you're going to restate some new information, or not restate new information, but go over some of the things you've said. And I talked about how it's one of the best things that we can do for future generations is to give them hope through positive literature. Maybe people will start acting as if the books are actually true and that's how the world is. So I don't know if you can get it back to the, go over the other one. You'll find if you try this out tomorrow, this is kind of challenging to get it on your target. It's a little bit trickier than you think. I have an app that does squares and it does design zigzags, spins, flips, it does a bunch of things. There's about